Hello everyone, good evening. Is my voice is audible? If my voice is audible, can you please send me one message that I am audible? Good evening everyone. Okay then, let's start this session. In this webinar, we are going to see about the Express.js. What is Express.js? How this Express.js is connected to ReactJs? Why we are going to use this Express.js and what's the advantage of having this Express.js? We are going to see all these things in this webinar. Okay? And before that, let's start some pep talk that why we need any database, what the use of any database to store that information from front end to back end. In that point of time, we need one interface to connect everything, to connect our front end with our back end. We need one interface. That interface is the Express.js for us right now. For React and any other backend, we are going to use Express. Do you believe me or not? Right now, for AngularJS and for Vue.js also, this Express.js is the working as an interface. Because what I am saying is right now the trending applications are or the trending courses are Mern and Mean and Maven also. Why? Because in this M stands for MongoDB. Let me take one notepad, then it will be helps us. Mean, Maven. M stands for database, MongoDB. E stands for Express, R stands for React, and N stands for Node.js. N stands for Node.js. Like that, in this also, M stands for MongoDB, E stands for Express, A stands for Angular, and N stands for Node.js. For Maven also it is the same guys, but coming to V, it is a Vue.js. MongoDB, Express, Vue, and Node.js. This Express is simply very and powerful guys. It is very helps us to connect our front end or our back end. It is working as a interface. This is also same like this normal JavaScript. It is not any different, or we are not going to see any big difference like that. I think some of you already joined in my previous webinar. In that webinar, we just created one small, what we call chart box. Am I right? In the chart box, we just created we are entering some information and we are displaying that information like the normal WhatsApp application. What's it's happening in there, like that we did, but we didn't provided any backend. How to connect our data to a backend? So whenever we connected our information, then no refresh and no the information is not going to gone. Whenever we closes our application, we opens our application, because we simply connected with one backend. We're having a lot of backends. Am I right? Right now the trending are, everybody knows that the trending is MongoDB and DJANGO. Am I right guys? And for this type of React, Angular and Vue, Firebase is also best example, and it helps a lot for us to connect with our front end and back end. I just need some responses from your side, that whether you are getting the point or not. That's why I'm asking. If you have any doubts regarding this particular webinar or some other concepts which you've seen from the past two webinars, you can ask me and I will clarify your doubts. So without wasting any time, let's start our project. How to start a React project? We need to go to the command prompt. In here we are going to start our project. In here we are going to start our project, but before that let me take one particular folder where we can store. I am going to my H drive, and in here, did you see in here I am having one React application. Let me delete this thing. I am having one React folder. In that I am going to write my code. So for that, let me go to the particular React folder which is present in H drive, React, and in this thing I am going to create my project. To create, we are having one command, npx create react app, and our particular project name. I am going to name my project as getting. There it will start and it will take some time. There it is starting. Whenever it is creating, did you see the getting particular folder is created, and it is installing some packages, some information. And one more thing, I am not going to use another particular project for my backend. I am going to use the same project for my backend also. I am going to use the same project called getting for my backend also. If you want, you can use two projects, one for backend and the other for front end. How you are going to get the particular information from backend to front end? This is the basic and most important thing we see in our day-to-day life, and I am going to share that knowledge to you right now. It will definitely take some time. It is showing some information like this. If you see, installing the packages, everything. And one more thing, thank you so much for making my first two webinars successful. Each and every person's view helps a lot, and the way of you are learning these concepts is also helps a lot for you. Maybe it will take some time. Right now for data science, the trending is Python. When did this Python comes? Nearly it comes 10 years back. After 10 years, it gets a lot of craze. Everyone trying to learn the Python, and in every curriculum, in every student's curriculum, we are seeing this particular Python concept also. The subject is also present in there. Like that, in the coming days, ReactJs is also going to become very popular. We need to wait for some time. To work with Express.js, we need this particular Express package. From where we are going to get this Express package is simply go to browser and click for Express npm. By using my npm, I am going to install the Express. If you want to know the command, click like this, Express npm. Go there. Here it is the command npm iExpress. In this way you can download your Express into your project. It is still installing. If you remember, for Java to connect with SQL or MySQL, we use this OJDBC as a interface. Like that, to connect anything with backend, we definitely need one interface. It is downloading. Wait for some time. It will take hardly 100 to 150 MB. The project is going to be. If you are having any doubts, if you want to give any suggestions regarding this webinar, you can mail to me. Did you see there is clearly showing you some package.json, some type of workflows, some packages, a lot of things are going to be running in here. All of them are downloading, installing in here. All these are present inside the node modules folder. If you want, you can download the MySQL related module in the Express.js and you can connect your front end with your MySQL backend server also. Right now, using this Express.js, we are going to create our own server, guys. What are the things needed, required? They all going to be downloaded by itself. We are not going to do anything. After this thing, if we run this project, you will get one screen. By default, you are not going to write a single line of code. Let me show you that thing also by running. There, it is done. If you run, you need to go to that particular project, cd space getting. After that thing, you need to run npm start. This is the command which you need to execute a project of a React. Npm start. This particular thing you see at the scripts. It is written inside the script in a package.json folder. I will show you. And in this project, we are going to write our own scripts. That means our own commands we are going to write in this project. There the project is going to start. If I go to my command prompt, if you see there, it is clearly showing that starting the development server. That means it is starting some type of server for us by default. There it started, and it's clearly showing you that the project is going to start in localhost 3000. There, that is our localhost 3000. This is the basic project. Whenever you start a project, you get like this. Without wasting time, let's execute our own code. I'm going to my particular project. For this thing, I am using my Sublime IDE, H drive, React. Here it is, my getting folder. I open that one. I'm simply closing this thing. I think all of you know that how this src or how this public folder everything is working. If you want to tell me, I will tell you, or else I will directly go into the project. If you want to tell me the flow from where it is starting, from where it is ending, like that. Our code will be present inside the app.js. Here this is the code which you are seeing in the screen. This is the code. I am going to use component class. Someone is saying that they want some flow, how the project is starting, from where it is. Okay, then I will tell you. From the public folder, here this index.html. From here our control is moving at line number 31. Line number 31, here this particular root. Whenever the id equal to root you given for this particular div, so whenever any project calls this particular root, the control goes to that one. The control goes towards that particular file or folder where you call the root. So from index.html it goes to index.js, which is present in src. Here it is. The root, whatever you called in here, it is this one. If you change the root to something called app, I'm saving this thing. There you see, it is not getting that particular target to where you need to give the control, to what position it need to give the control, and how to get back the control. That's why it is saying like that. If you want to give the control towards the next particular one, you need to give the same name. Now you get your project. Did you see? I'm getting my own project back to normal. From here I am going to call another component. We call component. What is a component means? It is nothing like a class like Java. App is a one component. I am calling my app like this. Where it is present in here. It is my app component. It is my app component. It is created as a functional component. We are having two types of components, class component and functional component, but right now we are using functional component only. Whenever the project is created, it is designed using a functional component. There are a lot of companies outside the world. They are asking to build your project from functional to class and from class to functional in both ways based on their requirement. Okay, this is the concept. This is the thing from where your app is going to change. If you change or if you remove the complete information, let's see what going to happen. I'm going to remove my header and my image, everything. I'm saving this thing. I'm having nothing because in my return method I'm not having anything. That's why. If you want to create a class component, I will tell you. I'm going to delete completely my function class. For that you need to use the keyword called class and you need to name your class. And I'm going to name my class is app. What are the name you given? You need to export that particular name. You need to export that particular name. It is showing some errors because I just given class app. I am not doing anything else. That's why class app extends react dot component, because as I told you this is a class component. I need to use the component function from the React. Inside this one, every class is having one render method. Using the render method only, it is going to display the content, it is going to change the content, everything. Inside the render method, we are going to have one return. Using this return, what are the content you are going to write? That content is going to be present in your front end. That's why we are going to use return. So if I write p element, hello, I am saving this thing. Did you see? I got my p element. Because of using this ReactJs, we don't need to go and refresh our page again and again. Like HTML, we don't need to do. If you change anything, it will be going to reflect your page directly. If you are going to use another p tag and if you write any content, you are going to get one error, because everything, whatever the content you are writing in the Java, in the ReactJs, you need to give that thing as a block. You can't give completely like a two different blocks. If you make this particular code as a block, you are going to use div. Because of using this div element, we can make our complete different lines of code into a single block. I'm saving this thing. Now I get my content very good, very clearly. So in this webinar I am not going to focus on the front end. I just want to focus on the back end. And before that, let me take some static information. That means how by using a variable I am going to store some information. After some time I am going to display that information in a hard coded way. After this thing I am going to connect my front end with a back end using this Express.js. Okay, to create a state variable, what we need a state. Like this we need to define, and inside that state we are going to take some variables like name. I am going to name these things as Ram and city, Vijayawada, and let's take some other value ID, or else rather than ID take some number. 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, like this, some number also I given. Now what you did is you simply created a variable and you are storing the information inside that variable. Whenever if you want to display the content of a variable, how you need to do is by using curly braces. In between the curly braces you need to call that particular variable. Why we are using this curly braces is because inside the HTML elements, if you want to display the content of a ReactJs type of information, you need to use this curly braces. So instead of hello I am going to take one name, and in here I am going to call my name which is present in the state variable. How I am going to call is by using keyword this dot. Inside the state I am having the content, that's why I am going to use the state dot the name, the variable name. I am saving this thing. Did you see? I got the name. I got the name called Ram. If I change my content to Rajesh, I got the Rajesh also. If I change my content, my village, my city to some other thing called village, I am not getting because I didn't displaying my city inside the return method. I just created, that's it. Now how to do that thing? Simply go to the return method and take city. Inside that one I am going to call this dot state dot city. Copy this line of code. Rather than writing, we should copy this one. After that thing, what I am having number. This dot state dot that particular number. I am saving this thing. There it is. I am getting all my hard coded information. Now what we are going to do is we are going to simply create one express. Using this express, we are simply going to create one server, and we are going to deploy our information into that server, and we are calling that information towards the front end. One more thing, never ever try to change the home root, means this app, because from index.js you are calling directly the app.js. So after in future, if you are having any new information at your front end side, like this thing, if you are having any what we call nav bar, if you are having any carousels like moving some images like that, at that point you can't change your information in here. At that point you are going to get a big headache. That's why my suggestion is don't change any content in the app.js if you are at a learning stage, because after getting experience, if you change the content, then you can easily modify your all information, because you are trained at that point. You know from where you are changing, what you are changing, all that content. So for that purpose, I am going to take one new file. I am going to save this thing as I am going to name this thing info.js. The extension for this particular project is .js. I am saving this thing, and I am going to simply convert all this code to all this code to info, and I'm going to name my app as something like dummy. I'm not going to do anything in my app.js. I'm deleting all my content. I just want to show you this thing, that's why I did like this. Now how to call this info inside this app.js is simply go there and call info, that particular component name, backslash, that particular component name and backslash. Save this thing, you will get one error. Why? Because you never ever define this particular info in your project. That's why. How to do is import. You need to import that particular info from, you need to provide the location also, dot slash. It is present outside the app.js. That means both are present in a same folder. Here it is my info, it is my app. Both are present in same folder. So use dot slash, that's it. Then the control goes outside. Info. Save this thing. There you will get some errors because there is no name like info. I'm saving this thing. Now everything is good. Did you see? I simply created one normal another folder, and in that one another component. In our perspective, in our terminology, we call this thing as component. I simply created one new component. I'm calling that component inside my app.js. I'm saving this thing. Nothing is going to change. Everything is good and normal. Is anyone having any doubts up to now? Okay, let's get to our concept. As I told you, I'm going to use the same project for my backend also. How to do that thing? For that, I'm going to this particular getting name. Inside here, I'm creating one new folder and I'm going to name this thing as backend. Inside the backend, I need these node modules, this package.json, package log.json, all these things. How to get these node modules inside a product? For that purpose, open new command prompt. Go to that particular location wherever you want the node modules. Inside the getting, I'm having my backend. So I need to go to the backend. There it is. My backend is also, I go on. Now, if you want to download this node modules, how to do is, first of all, you need to run npm init. Enter. Let me show you clearly. Yeah. Inside the getting product, here it is. Nothing is, I am having nothing. Did you see inside my backend? I am having nothing. Close this thing. It is asking something. Whenever I execute the command called npm init, this utility will walk you through creating a package.json. Yeah, I need my package.json. That's why it is creating. It only covers the most common items and tries to guess sensible defaults. Okay. See npm help init for definitive. What are the information you want to know about the npm init? You can go through this npm help init. After that thing, use the npm install package afterwards to install a package and save it as a dependency in package.json. Like this thing you need to do. We are going to do all this thing in a practical way. I don't want to change my name of my package, so I am leaving that thing as backend. Okay, the version is 1.0. okay, I don't want to change anything. Index.js, okay, test mode, okay, git repository, okay, keywords, okay, enter, click yes, everything is created. Now if we go to my backend, let's check whether the package.json is created. Yes, it is created. After this thing, as it is told us, we need to execute npm install. I need node modules. For that purpose, I am doing all these things. Npm install. It is installing. If I go here, I am not getting those npm node modules, all those packages. Let me show you. Like this thing, I just want this type of things. whatever I am having inside my node modules, I just want these type of things. So, but I am not getting. How to get all those things is simply run one command npm I. In that, whatever the packages you want, download all those packages. At that point you can get. Right now I am going to use the Express. So where I am going to get this Express, as I told you, by running npm I express. If you run this command, you are going to get this Express package in your project. So wherever you want, you can use that particular Express. So I am going to my terminal. In here I am going to execute npm I express. Now it is downloading. There, it is downloaded successfully. Let's go. Here, did you see? I get my node modules. That means whenever you execute the command npm init, whenever you execute this command npm init, after that you need to install a package, whatever type of package you want. I want ExpressJS. That's why I'm executed npm I express. After that thing, I get my node modules. Everything is good. Now let's start our project. Go to the folder. We don't need this info, this index.js, index.html, app.js. Inside the backend, I am going to create one new file. I am going to name this thing as server.js, server.js, because it is working as a server for us for the coming 1 hour. For the coming 1 hour, I am going to use this particular file as a server. So let me close this thing. Let me minimize this one. Yeah, we don't need this thing too. What we are having is, we just need this particular React app dot particular folder. That is enough. Now, if you want to use the Express in your project, you need to import. You need to import that particular Express into your files. How you are going to do is by using constant express equal to require of that particular Express. What this thing is going to do is, it is simply going to take one variable called constant of data type constant, which is named as Express. What this thing is going to do is, it is simply going to take one module. That module name is Express, and it is storing that information of that particular module complete in a variable called Express. This is the thing what we are doing right now. And this keyword called require, what this thing is doing is, this Node.js is having one functionality called require. This function, what is going to do is, it is simply going to import or download all the information whatever it is having inside the curly braces as a value. I am saving this thing for now as a value. And once again repeating you, this require is a function. This require is a function which is going to download or which is going to load all the information whatever it is needed and what the thing it is get as a parameter into a variable. That is the thing what we are doing, because we are using the Express. Now I just loaded my Express. After this thing, I am going to use another variable course equal to require of course. This course is also something like the Express. The full form of course is cross oriented. Wait a second, let me show you rather than telling you. There it is, cross origin resource sharing. What this is going to do is, this course is, it is a mechanism that allows restricted resources on a web page to be requested from another domain outside the domain from which the first source was served. A web page may freely embedded course origin images style sheets like everything. We don't need this stuff, guys. I want you to remember this particular thing. Course is nothing like, it is like a one type of software which allows us to download or to load, to request some information from another file or from another project like that. Okay, for that purpose we are using this course. Now this course is going to allow the front end to use the backend information, allows us to use the backend information. Now I am going to take one variable called db. This db is going to create or having the backend information require of. In here I am going to pass that particular location where I am having the data. Where I am having data, I am going to name this thing as server. It is going to serve us some information. It is going to serve us some information. I am saving this thing. Now I need to once again create a new file and I am going to name this thing as server.js. server.js. Inside my server.js, what I am having is, I am having a data, as I told you, constant data equal to, I am calling one function. Inside that function I am giving some information. As you see at my front end, what type of information I am having? Where is the info? Name, city, number, like that. Name, I am going to give some new name, Ramesh. City, Vizag. Number, I am going to give some stars like this. Comma. If you want to use any other new variable, you need to give the comma and write like that. I am not going to take any other new variables. Semicolon, I close this thing. After this thing, you need to export. You need to export this thing. How? As a module. As a module, you need to export your content. Module dot exports equal to the variable, that particular const variable. I am saving this thing. Now from this particular information, this data comes to me in here as a DB. If you are having multiples and multiples of users, you can use the information and you can write that big number of information in here. Right now what I am doing is, I am just creating one default hard-coded information. I am just creating one default hard-coded information as a backend. It is in a JSON format. It is in a JSON format. Can anyone tell me what is a JSON? Okay, I will tell you. JSON means is a JavaScript object notation. What this thing it is like an array of arrays. It is having multiples and multiples of information. It is having multiples of information. Array which is having another array. In that array you are having some content. After this array you are having once again another array. In that array also you are having that same type of content. Like this thing it looks like. Nowadays everybody is using JSON information. Everybody converts their data into a JSON format because every backend or every front end helps this convert or to use this particular JSON. Every backend supports this JSON type of information towards the front end. That's why. Now I just created my server. I just passed the information also to the server. Now I am going to use one variable const app. What this app is? It is nothing but a variable which is going to call the express value. or we can call also as express function. The express function, if you are having multiples of applications, multiples of APIs, at that point you can use this thing like this one also, app1 equal to express, like this thing. Now you are going to use this simple express method to multiple APIs, right now I am having only one API, so simply I am going to delete this one. I am saving this thing. After this thing, as I told you, I am going to use this course app dot use of. Now I am saying my app variable to use the course concept, to use the course. That means from wherever the user is going to call this particular API key, you need to go and support him. You need to display the content to him. In that way, they both are communicate with each other. They both communicate. After this thing, I am going to give one port number. Where the data is going to be displayed to us. I am going to name it as 2000. Semicolon. Enter. App dot get. What is this get? What is this get? This get is nothing but Ajax calls. That means because of having this Express.js, we are going to build the Ajax calls also. Using this Ajax calls, we can send the information towards the front end. Because of using this Ajax calls, we can get or we can pass the information from front end to back end also. Nearly we are having 4 types. Ajax calls are of 4 types: get, post, put, delete. There are 4 types of Ajax calls we are having. Yes, to respond back to user. Yes, Mr. Vishal, you are right. Get, post, put, delete. We are using these Ajax calls to pass the information from front to back to front. In whatever way we want, we can do. What is this get is going to do is, it is simply going to take the information from that particular API, or we can call in our own way, we can call that thing as URL. We can get the information whatever we want in that particular URL using the get method. After the post, what this post is, it is simply going to pass the information from front end to back end to save the information like name, this particular number, this user registration related all the information into a backend like MySQL or SQL or MongoDB or what we call DJANGO. In all those things we can store the information using the post from front end to back end. And put is also slightly something like the post. It is like an update. And coming to delete, by default the name is saying delete that particular information. To delete a particular information, we use this delete. This is also one Ajax call. All these are Ajax calls. So in this example, we are going to see get slash. Whenever a user sees localhost colon 2000 slash do some type of information, I am doing like that. It is going to take 2 things. The get method is going to take 2 things. One is request and the other one is response. Request and response. Whenever it is going to see the slash, it is not going to take any request. It is simply going to send some information. Like hello everyone, semicolon. I am saving this thing. After this thing, you need to execute one more line, app.listen. It helps us which URL, where URL is working, and it will holds your command prompt or it holds your server to stop for some time rather than refreshes. And I am going to write one console also, because on which terminal our server is working. For that purpose I am using the console.log app, or I am going to name it as server. Server is listening on port number colon, where is this one? Yeah, dollar port. I'm saving this thing. Now if you want to start this server, what you need to do is go to the command prompt. There I am in my backend. Now you need to run the command called node server.js. This is the name of your particular folder or a file. Enter. There, did you see it is saying some errors? Course is not present. Why I am getting this error is I didn't install this type of module into my project. That's why I am getting this error. How you are going to do is, if you want to know whether you are installed this particular module in your project or not, simply go to package.js and check here. Did you see I am having only the Express. I am not having any course. So let's download npm I course. There it is downloaded. Let's go to the package. There it is. The course is also present. Now everything is good. Now once again start node server.js. Server is listening on port number 2000. Let's go and check whether it is having any content or not. Localhost 2000. Enter. Did you see there the information whatever I have written in here? Where is it? Yeah, here I am getting that information. If I changes this thing to hello everyone, good evening, I am saving this thing. If I come here and refreshes, it is not changing. It is not going to change. Why? Because whenever you change any content at your server, you need to start your server once again. Control C, node server.js, there it is started. Come here and refresh. It may be very easy for you right now because you are having only one line of code. What happens if you are having a big code, if you are having a big project in that you are having a some registration information, some backend information, some image information, some bank related information, some user information, users information. At that point you can't come here, you can't change every time, you can't come here and change the server, close, open, all this thing. Am I right? Yes, Mr. Vishal, we can use the node daemon. That is the thing what I want to share you. To do all this type of stuff, we can give one break. We can give a break by using node daemon. By using node daemon. Let me write that thing. Node daemon is a one type of package which refreshes the server without the use of user. It is going to be start this server whenever any change happens in the server. Okay, let me show you how to use. I'm saving this thing for now. Let me close my server, Control C. Now I am going to install node daemon npm I node mon. Someone will call as node daemon, someone will call node mon, anything. Whatever thing it is, we just need that particular package. That's it, nothing else. Now that package is downloaded successfully. Now we are going to change our own script. We are going to change our script. Did you see in here? I'm having some test. Because of this thing only the node.js or that particular thing is working. Now I'm going to change my script. How I am going to do is simply deleting this thing. What are the keyword you want? You can write that one. I'm going to write here as code, because we are coding. Code colon, inside this one use the nodemon space that particular what we call file name, this particular file name. What is the name? server.js. nodemon server.js. I am saving this thing. Now go here. Now you don't need to execute node space that file name or like that. Simply use npm run code. Now did you see the nodemon latest version is 2.0.4. it is starting your server. It is changing. It will change the information whatever the user changes at any time. Now if you want to see, let's go in here. Let's change some content. Let me place these things side by side. Yeah, server is listening on port number and go to localhost colon 2000. I am saving this thing. Did you see? I didn't come here. By default the servers restarting due to changes. The node daemon is restarting due to changes. Node daemon starting the node server.js. In this way the server is changed, but I didn't change any my content. Let me change some content to we are seeing nodemon in here. I am saving this thing. The port is changed. Now you need to refresh in here only. You don't need to go there and you don't need to once again start your server. Once again you don't need to start your server. In this way the server is started. Did you get the point? Now everything is good. Let's create the data. Let's pass this data as an API. Let's pass this data as API. How I am going to do is app.get slash, whenever the user going to see this type of command, do something. That is the thing I am going to do in here. Slash get comma. It is also going to accept two parameters, request and response, and it is calling one method. Inside that one I am going to pass my information as a JSON format, response.sendDB. I am saving this thing, response.sendDB. That means whenever any person sees like this localhost colon 2000 slash get, display some type of information. That is the thing which we are doing right now. For that thing I am going to change the information to something. If you want to see the content, go to localhost colon 2000 slash get. Let's see what type of content I am going to get. If I go to localhost colon 2000 slash get, there it is good, slash get, enter. There it is, my information whatever I have written in here at my server.js, which is serving us the information I am getting. If I enter some new information, ID role colon 1234. I am saving this thing. I need to refresh this thing once again. Did you see? I got my role also. In this way we are creating our own hard coded server and we are passing some information. This is the thing guys, we just created our own server and we are passing our own API key. We generated our own API key. This is called as API. Am I right? API means nothing but guys a simple URL which helps us to retrieve the data, to get the data and to utilize that particular information at the front end. In my perspective, API means that's it, which is helps us to give some type of data or to post some data from front end to back end. Now everything is good. I am just having my information. Now what we need to do is we need to retrieve this data towards the front end and use that information. How to do? Guys, one more thing. Before doing that, if you want to connect your front end with any backend like MySQL, you don't need to want this particular server.js. You don't need to use this server.js. You simply hide this line of code. Line number 3 is not needed. Instead of that thing, you can use MySQL module. By using MySQL module, you can connect your front end and back end, and you can write your own what we call commands like the select star from that particular table name, select or insert or update or delete, alter, all these type of things we can write in this particular Express.js, and we pass that information as a API key towards our front end. But I am not going to show you that type of thing in this webinar. Okay, I just want to show you this, how to connect a backend with a front end by having some hard coded content. Now let's go to the front end. Now backend is done. Now how to get the content into a front end? We can get the information in two ways. By using, now we don't need this stuff, this name or number, we don't need. We are having simply some null. What the other thing I am having? A role. Some empty information I am having. Now my front end is also done. I am not having any name, city, number, all those things. We can grab our information from back end to front end in React in two ways. One is using Axios and the other one is using fetch. By using Axios package we can do. By using fetch also we can do. In this example, we are going to see how to use a Axios package, how to get the information from a Axios package. The fetch and Axios both are not different, both are similar, but the promises, the return values what are the fetch is passing is are lesser than or more than the Axios. That means what are the information the Axios is passing, it is going to pass some little data rather than the fetch. So the headache of fetch is we don't want right now. By using the Axios we are going to do. For that, as I told you, I need to import Axios from Axios. We are not having this package, so it is going to hit us. There it is. We need to go there and we need to download. It's compiling something. It is downloading. Now we are going to use the Axios package. It is downloaded successfully. Good. Now let's start. npm start. It is starting. If you like this video, if you like this webinar, please hit the like button guys. It will help some other persons to learn all this type of information. If you know any other users or any freshers who are learning this ReactJS, I want you to share these videos, these webinars to them, because these are helpful for them a lot, I think. That's why. Yeah, everything is good. Now everything is good, but it is saying some warning that Express is defined but never been used. Yes, I didn't use it anywhere. That's why. One more thing, where I am going to call this Express, at what point of time I am going to call this Express concept is at component did mount. It is a one life cycle in ReactJS. It is a one life cycle in ReactJS. So whenever the project starts, whenever you are this particular info.js is called in the app.js, inside the app.js, here it is, I am calling. At that point, the component did mount is the second most method which is going to be executed rather than the render method. Rather than before the render method, the second most method or a function, both are same, which is going to be executed is component did mount. You may get one doubt, sir, you are saying that the component did mount is the second most, then what is the first one going to execute? The first and foremost thing whenever a project or whenever a component starts, which is going to execute is constructor. Like in Java, constructor is the first and foremost concept which executes, which starts. If you want to use the constructor in a ReactJS, let me show you that one too. I am going to store the information of a state, this particular state, inside the constructor. How to do is use the keyword constructor. Inside the constructor, you need to call the super. Definitely, first of all, whenever you are using a constructor, we need the super call. We need to call the super. Control X. After this thing, I am going to call this dot control V. State dot or particular project. Here our constructor is done. Everything is good. If you see, I am not getting any errors. I am not getting any errors. If you write some information, I am getting that information also. Everything is good. Saving this thing back to normal. After the constructor, the first and foremost thing is going to run is component did mount. Now I am going to use this Express concept, but before that, if you don't want to make any clumsiness inside the component did mount, simply call a new method. I am going to take get as a method. Inside the component did mount, I am calling one method called get. How I am going to call or give that define the get is like this. Get equal to this is a arrow method, guys. We call this type of thing as arrow function. This is, I am calling my get method inside the component did mount. In here I am going to use Express dot get. As I told you, at the front end, if you want to get the information from a backend, you need to use get slash. In here you need to pass the URL. You need to pass the URL. What is the URL for us? Here it is. Copy, Control V. Then we can use single quote or double quote, anything we can use. I just want to show you, that's why I am using double quote. Dot, it is going to give one return, one reply. We are going to call that thing as promise. Dot, then whatever the promise I am getting, I am going to use that promise, and I am going to name that thing as response, and I am going to name that thing as response. In here I am going to create one method. There it is. Let me see what type of data I am having in that particular API. If you want to see, you need to use like this, response dot data. Inside the console, I am saving this thing. Let's go to our front end, inspect, go to console. Did you see? I am getting one type of object. Yes, as I told you, JSON is a JavaScript object notation. There, the information I am having inside that URL or API is city, name, number, role. City, name, number, role. If I change any content, I am going to get some new content also inside my server. Where is my server? I don't want this particular role. Delete. I am saving this thing. My server is changed. Yeah, it is good. Let me start in here too. Yeah, it is also good. Now refresh in here also. I am not going to get the role as a object. In this way, we are going to get the information at the front end. Now simply I am going to do, what I am going to do is, I am going to update my name, city, role, all the information by using set state. This dot set state of that particular name colon response dot data dot, what are the information I am having? Name, city, number, data dot name. I am saving this thing. Now did you see? I am getting my name in here. What are the information I am having from the URL? I am getting that information. I am displaying already. In a previous time already I displayed. That is the thing I am getting. If I change, if I want to get the other values also, city colon response dot data dot city. I am saving this thing. There I get my city also. After that I am having my number colon response dot data dot number. I am saving all my information I got. There is a one suggestion or from my side. Whenever you are using any APIs, any concepts, I just want you to write the console like this to see what type of information you are having. Otherwise, if you don't know what type of information you are getting from the backend, you are unable to use that particular information in your project. This is a small suggestion or a small favor from my side. Whenever you are using any APIs, check what type of information you are getting. In this way, we are calling a backend information towards a front end. I just created my own backend information which is present in serve. If I changes some information, if I uses one more information like this thing, I can take whatever the information I want. I can take whatever the information I can in the backend in here. If I are having a big JSON, then it will be helpful for us to see. If you want, I can take some other JSON information. Let me remember, there is a one API. There is one API which gives API, guys. That's why I'm checking for that. I think this is not working. I just want to show you how to take a new API rather than our own data. For that purpose, I am checking. Just give me a second. Thank you guys for waiting. How many people are in? If you go, there must be one API you will get. Where is that API? Yeah, here it is. If you are having some free APIs in the online, then you can use those things. There you see there is a one API. With that API I am getting some JSON information. I am getting one JSON information. If you want to use any different types of data which you are not created, then simply you can give that one in here. Control V. I am going to delete this thing for now. Control Z, Control Z, Control Z. What is the thing? Why it is happening? Okay. Response dot data dot number. Let me get back to previous one. There, everything is good. Yeah, okay. Instead of this API, if you change some new API, delete. I am saving this thing. I am not getting information. Did you see? I can get the response information. There is some 3 people, some information, like all this stuff. In this way, React will help. React is very easy to combine with backend. If you are known about this Ajax calls, APIs, the state variable, this props concept like this, you can get all the stuff like this, guys. If you are having one normal predefined API which is free APIs, you will get a lot and a lot in online. Free APIs. There are some websites, there are some APIs, public, all those things. You can get all those things. If you create your own APIs, you can use those things also. Number saving. In that way, guys, you can use this APIs concept inside the ReactJS. We just created our own DB. If you are not having any own DB, if you want to save the information from somewhere, you can do in that way also. You can do in that way also. That is the thing I showed you. I hope everyone understand. If anyone having any doubts, you can ask me. Is anyone having any doubts regarding this particular concept? How did we connected the Express with React? If you want to, I am once again repeating, if you want to connect with any MySQL, DJANGO, anything, you can do all that stuff also inside the Express.js. Simply what you need is, you need to install that MySQL require like this, and you can pass your information from front end to back end to store the information also. Now you need to download this MySQL also in your packages. Yeah, definitely it's going to hit. And if you are having MySQL workbench in your system, then you can simply connect that MySQL with your Express.js. After this thing, if you want to connect, you can do by using create class. Create this particular class for MySQL like that. Const connect equal to react dot or something like create class. All the stuff we can do, guys. If you come and join in our ReactJS course, we will train you in all this type of stuff with a real-time examples. I didn't taken any normal stuff, guys. If you see, I just taken some real-time examples of that particular APIs. I can use all the stuff, all those things. If you come and join in our React course, which we are planning in the coming 15 days. And after, if you are a present learning stage, if you are a student, I am sure this particular ReactJS will help you to get a job in this 2020. Definitely. Don't feel or don't hear from any words like there is no jobs in software, no one is going to give you some money, no one is going to take the you to a particular jobs like that. Because if you want to earn money, there are a lot of opportunities outside. Freelancer is also one type of opportunity. If you have the skill, you can use that your skill, guys. Am I right? Or I am saying anything wrong? If you like this video or if you like this session, please hit the like button and share this to all your friends. This is the small favor I want from your side. Because only few members know about this particular ReactJs. I just want to give the information how this ReactJs is responsive, how this ReactJs is that much fast, how to we share the information from front end to back end. We can do all this type of stuff. If you want to become a front end developer, if you don't want to think about the back end, ReactJs is the best, I think, to learn. That's why now I didn't go towards the back end. I simply taken that information as an API and I am saved that information and I displayed that information. We are trying to build some type of clones also, social media applications also in our course like WhatsApp, Facebook, that type of clones. If you see, there are multiple resources are outside. The way of utilizing those resources is the thing which we need. Whatever the thing we want, we can get from the Google. The way of utilizing the resources is the thing which we need to do. Yeah, definitely I will share. If you want to know, simply go to our website and here courses, insert the courses, ExpressJS training. Here it is. If you go through this particular link, you will get the information, everything. It is going to be 1 month, I think 1.5 month period of training. Every day 2 hours. You can get all the information, whatever you want, the stuff what we are going to teach you, the projects also we are going to train you on 2 projects. These are all some normal projects. I am trying to do some new projects, some other projects also. Thank you guys for joining in this session and for giving me this opportunity to share my knowledge to all of you. Thank you so much. If you like this session, hit the like button, and one more thing, go to the Codegnan and give your reviews regarding your projects, regarding this webinars, all the stuff, rather than in the YouTube. I think rather than in the YouTube, can you do that type of information? It will be helpful for others to come and join in Codegnan and to take the information. Thank you, Mr. Prabhu. Thank you, Mr. Nove619. Thank you, Mr. Vishal. Thanks to each and everyone. Learn new things. That is the thing what you need to do in this 2020. You don't need to remember all the stuff also, guys. You just need to know that okay, this type of information is there. If you want or if you are having any problems, go to that particular perspective or go to this particular perspective. You need to train your mind like that. That is the small thing which we needed. That is the small thing which we needed and which we need to remember. That's it, guys, nothing else. I hope you understand the class. Thank you so much. If you like this webinar, share this thing and give your reviews regarding this webinar in Google, also in our company. In here you can give the reviews also regarding the webinar, also you can give. Then the other persons may come and join and learn the new things. Not only ReactJs, we share Python, we share DJANGO also, web development with DJANGO also, how to connect the database using this web development, all the stuff we will share, all the stuff. not in a theoretical way. We are going to share everything in a practical way. We are not going to say any words. We are going to say everything in coding. Is there anything you want to know? You want to answers? Anything regarding any questions? Is there anything I need to share? If you want any other stuff regarding the coding, you can ask us. In here we train every latest technologies. We are teaching the augmented reality also. We are training on IoT also, Internet of Things, how to do the concepts, how to create the robots, automatic robots. We are doing all that type of stuff in our companies. If you want anything, you can come and ask us, or else if you can want anything, you can mail to us also. In our company's website you can see that type of stuff also. Did you see? If you want to any calls also, you can call and ask us. WhatsApp, Facebook, everything is working. You can contact. I am teaching React, that's why I definitely going to take say React is the best for front end. And coming to backend, Python. Definitely Python is the thing right now ruling, and DJANGO also. Rather than MongoDB, I think DJANGO is the better thing. There are two types towards the front end. We can see the frameworks and libraries also. ReactJs is a library, because whatever the thing we want, we are going to simply download those things. We are going to use that particular classes. That's it. React is a package, library. What are the packages we want, we are downloading, we are using. Here is the example. Here you see in that thing. Did you see? You wanted one Express, you downloaded that Express, you are using. If you want to use the Ajax Axios like this, it is also one package. You downloaded and used that thing. It is a library. ReactJS is a, and AngularJS is a framework. Both looks like similar, but something is definitely difference between these two things. Thank you guys. I hope you understand. Can you use React for front end and build fully functional? Yeah, definitely, Mr. Prabhu. We can build. It is not that big problem. It is very easy and very simple. Whatever backend you want, you can use inside the ReactJS. Okay guys, thank you. Be safe. Always go with sanitizer and mask outside. Outside situation is not that good. Share this video to your friends. Ask them to go through these concepts. Bye guys. Have a good day.